We've been following this story for you since it broke last night about 9:30.
Yeah, we know 2 teens were shot in an alley on North Laura Street, and we have a look at surveillance that we obtained tonight from the downtown library. It shows people running for safety after shots were fired. The shooting happened just blocks away from the crowded Art Walk event that's held once a month. Sheriff's office believes the 2 victims know their attacker, but they aren't cooperating. Sheriff Mike Williams says he wants people to be downtown, but they need to be safe.
It's a free country, so you can come and go like you want. You can go to different events around the community, and we encourage people to do that, but you have to obey the law all the time. And we have to be able there to staff appropriately and to protect the people that are there who want to obey the law from people who don't.
The sheriff also says officers work closely with the Art Walk organizers. In more than 13 years, they say they can't recall any gun violence near the event. The investigation into the double shooting has revealed some troubling information about teens and their access to firearms.
Sheriff Williams you just heard from, but he confirmed today that one of the 2 juveniles who was shot had a gun holster. We also learned that more than 1 gun was fired last night because 2 types of bullet casings were found at the scene. Channel 4's Eric Avignon joining us live from downtown Jacksonville. Eric, what does this mean for investigators?
Well, it means the shooter either had more than 1 weapon or the kid with the gun holster engaged in a gun battle with the person who shot him. Either way, there are some major red flags in this case. Although detectives don't have a clear motive behind Wednesday night's shooting that left 2 teenagers injured, they do have a theory about how it may have escalated.
Currently, we believe that this was not a random act of violence. The parties involved may have been known to each other. Or the victims may have, in fact, been involved in some type of criminal activity.
According to investigators, one of the young victims had a gun holster. News4Jax crime and safety analyst Gil Smith says that alone raises red flags.
But it's pretty reasonable to assume that at one point he did have a firearm. What happened to the firearm at this point we don't know. And the fact that the victims are not cooperating tells me that they did know the gunman in some way.
If the young victim did have a firearm, the next question now is where did he get it? Smith says most juveniles who are armed with guns obtain those weapons illegally.
People are stealing guns and selling them back on the street to juveniles because juveniles know that they are too young to purchase them legally.
When both teens were shot, it happened during an event where thousands of people were attending the Art Walk event, so there could have easily been more gunshot victims.
It was very fortunate that more people were not shot, which also tells me that maybe they were shot at very close range. At a further distance, other people may have been hit.
Now there are so many questions in this case that need answers, and at this point, detectives are mulling over countless numbers of surveillance video to try and identify a suspect. Reporting live in downtown Jacksonville, Eric Avignon, Channel 4, the local station.
Thank you, Eric. And we learned more today about the 2 teens who were injured. 16-year-old Benoit Wilson is a football player for Rains High School. Police say that he was shot in the foot. 17-year-old Gregory Richardson was shot in the leg. After Richardson was shot, police say he ran down the street to Finn McCool's at the Jacksonville Landing to get help. Detectives were at Finn McCool's earlier today talking with the general manager about what happened. Paul Glazer says his staff did an amazing job taking care of the situation. They did it in a professional manner while there were other guests in the restaurant at the time. As for Wilson, he received help in the area where the shooting happened. We went by Rains High School today. We spoke with one of his football teammates who says Wilson is not a violent person and is on the right path.
He's a great guy. He's fun to be around. He'll get you laughing. He just start making you laugh for no reason.
A police report lists both Wilson's and Richardson's injuries as serious.